It is April 25th, 2016. I'm your host, Mike Callahan, and this is the Watchman News. There was an interesting article that came out today, and it made me think about an email that I had, a message on YouTube that I had just discovered today. I didn't even know it was there. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't, their message system isn't real good, or I should say their notification system isn't real good, so I had no idea that I had even gotten the message. Kind of the gist of it was somebody that was having issues with waking up loved ones to what's really going on in the world. And it's just coincidentally, I was looking through RT's news feed and ran across this. And I really think it is really telling as to what's going on. And it amazes me that people have not been in an absolute outrage over this stuff. So let's go over the article real fast. Its headline, U.S. might reveal how many Americans it caught in incidental surveillance. The U.S. is currently exploring several options for revealing how many Americans the government has swept up in a surveillance program meant to spy on foreign individuals, the nation's top intelligence official said. Speaking to reporters on Monday, Director of National Intelligence James Clapper said his office was assessing the possibility for a public statement on the issue, though he didn't say when an announcement would come. He also said the process of creating such an estimate might involve skirting privacy concerns. We are looking at several options right now, none of which are optimal, Clapper said at a breakfast event organized by the Christian Science Monitor, Reuters reported. His statement comes after 14 members of the House of Representatives, 8 Democrats and 6 Republicans, sent a letter to Clapper asking for an estimate. The lawmakers want to know how many Americans are getting caught up in the government's PRISM program, which collects communication data from a variety of messaging services, including those offered by Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and others. The data includes text messages, emails, and phone calls. Although the program is meant to target foreign individuals suspected of having links to terrorism, Americans can have their data swept up by the government if they are communicating with any potential targets overseas. The government has maintained that any collection of Americans' data is incidental and that it works to minimize such collection, but lawmakers want an estimate as they consider potential reforms to the law. We acknowledge that this estimate will be an imperfect substitute for a more precise accounting, but surely the American public is entitled to some idea of how many of our communications are swept up by these programs, the lawmakers wrote in their letter. The surveillance program was established under Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, but privacy advocates say that PRISM essentially constitute a warrantless backdoor search of Americans' private data in violation of the Fourth Amendment. With the law set to expire at the end of 2017, lawmakers are trying to determine if reforms are needed to ensure the Americans are protected from unreasonable searches. In the past, the government has argued that trying to determine how many Americans have been impacted by the program would require looking back through all of the collected data, itself a process that could violate privacy rights. Advocates have generally countered that they would be fine with this so long as the process is handled with the right safeguards and if the end result would reveal the scope of the surveillance. In their letter, the House lawmakers said they were willing to work with the government to get past these concerns and make an estimate possible. They have given Clapper until May 6th to provide the information they're looking for. You have willingly shared information with us about the important and actionable intelligence obtained under these surveillance programs, they wrote. Now we require your assistance in making a determination that the privacy protections in place are functioning as designed. Look, folks, it sounds to me like their hand's been caught in the cookie jar. And they got a whole lot of cookies. They have data on every single one of us. Every single one of us. Now, I built many computers in my lifetime. I honestly could not give you a number on how many computers I built. I built everything from little bitty economy machines that was just basically enough to get online, check email, stuff like that. And I've built really high dollar gaming systems. I've even built water-cooled systems. Now, to think about that for a moment and to understand that these government supercomputers need an entire lake to keep the computer cool, that's a lot of data. That's a whole lot of data. They keep trying to tell us that this is just to find out what's going on with people in our country calling into other countries or calling other specific individuals, and that is not the case. There have been too many whistleblowers coming out and saying that they are surveilling everyone all the time. I'm going to go back with what I've been saying here lately, that as they get closer to their agenda, to wrapping it up, there are people that are running like rats because they either realize that they're the same as the individuals that were charged in the Nuremberg trial, and that they aren't in the club. So they're running and they're all snitching on one another. And it's going to get worse and worse. But what we need to worry about is FEMA camps, the information that they've got on each and every one of us. Because I don't care how clean of a life you live, they've got something on you. I can guarantee it. Look at and the last I knew the list was 72 things. The 72 things that will declare you as a possible domestic terrorist. I don't know of a single person that I've ever talked to in my life that doesn't qualify for more than one thing on that list. Folks, it's time we start speaking up and speaking out. But that starts with our loved ones. It starts with sharing information just like this. The link will be in the description tab. Thanks for listening.